For many Americans approaching retirement, your home is typically more than just where you live. It's also one of your biggest assets. So a lot of times the question becomes, should you sell it before you retire or possibly after? Or at all? On the surface, the decision feels personal. Downsizing, lifestyle, location. Beneath the surface lies what I feel is a crucial factor many people overlook. That's taxes. The timing of your home sale can have a major impact on your retirement income, Social Security benefits, and your overall long-term financial plan. Get it wrong, you could pay more taxes than necessary. Get it right, and you could unlock equity that strengthens your retirement for decades. Today, I'm going to break down ways you can think through this decision, the tax rules that come into play, and some practical pros and cons of selling before or after you retire. Hello, I'm Scott Norris. I'm an investment advisor with Royal Fund Management and the owner of Nexus Financial Group. For years, I've worked with individuals and couples navigating one of the biggest questions of retirement planning: what to do with their home in retirement. Whether you plan to downsize, relocate, or free up equity for lifestyle goals, selling your home isn't just an emotional choice, it's typically a financial one as well. And I believe understanding the tax angle is crucial to making the right decision. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss future insight designed to help you retire with clarity instead of confusion. Part 1. Why I feel the house question matters. For many retirees, their home typically represents a significant portion of their net worth. It's also a major influence on lifestyle and legacy goals. It also has an opportunity to free up equity. The decision to sell before or after retirement isn't just about where you live. It can affect how much cash you'll have available and how your taxes play out. Whether you'll be able to better position to handle expenses like healthcare, travel, or supporting family. That's why I feel this isn't just a real estate question, it's a retirement planning question. Part 2, your primary resident exclusion. Let's start with what I believe is the tax rule that can help you make your decision. IRS Section 121 exclusion, or commonly called the primary residence exclusion. If you've owned your home and lived in it for at least 2 of the last 5 years, you can typically exclude up to $250,000 of capital gains from taxes if you're single, or $500,000 if you're married filing jointly. That means if you bought your home for $400,000 and sell it for $900,000, as a married couple, you can exclude the full $500,000 gain from capital gains tax. But here's where timing can matter. Frequency, that can limit the exclusion. Generally, you can only use it once every 2 years. If you sell your home while you're still working, the exclusion applies, but how you reinvest the proceeds could affect your taxable income. If you sell after retirement, the exclusion still applies, but the proceeds may interact with your Social Security taxation, your Medicare premium brackets, often referred to as IRMAA, or your required minimum distributions later on. So the sale itself may be tax advantage, but what you do after the sale can have long-term consequences. Part 3. Selling before retirement. Pros and cons that I feel are crucial to consider. Here are a few advantages. It can provide you liquidity for things like transitioning into a new home. By selling while you're still working, you can free up equity earlier, giving you more time to reposition your finances before retirement begins. It can simplify lifestyle planning. Downsizing before retirement means that you start retirement with housing costs already settled instead of dealing with a big move later on. Market flexibility. You might be able to sell your home when the real estate market is strong rather than being forced to sell during the retirement years when the market might not be as good. But there are potential drawbacks that could include taxable investment growth. If you invest the proceeds in a taxable brokerage account, dividends, capital gains, and interest, that can affect your annual tax bill. Lifestyle disruption. Moving while you're still working can mean sacrificing comfort or convenience earlier than necessary. Reduced hedge against inflation. Housing often appreciates over time, and selling too early means that you're giving up on potential inflation-protected growth. Part 4, pros and cons that I feel are crucial to consider if you're planning to sell after retirement. A few advantages are stability during your transition from work. Keeping your home in early retirement provides comfort and familiarity. Flexibility. You may want to wait until you're clear about your lifestyle for things like, are you going to travel? How close do you want to be to your family? Or maybe there's some new healthcare concerns to consider. Continued tax-free growth. As long as it's your primary residence, appreciations continue to qualify for capital gains exclusion. Here are some potential drawbacks. It can impact benefits. While the sale itself may be excluded from tax, investing the proceeds later could push your income higher, and that could increase how much of your Social Security is taxable, or it could even raise your Medicare premiums. Market timing risk. If those values dip, you may not get the price you want. Later life stress. Moving in your 70s or 80s can be very difficult, not only physically, but emotionally. Part 5, the tax angle. The sale of your primary residence may be excluded from capital gains tax, but the real planning usually begins after the sale. For example, if you invest the proceeds in a taxable account, future gains are normally taxable. You can use those proceeds to make contributions to your Roth IRA or fund conversions if making contributions. You cannot make them directly from the sale of the property, and you will be limited on the contribution limits based upon your age and income. An often overlooked option is qualified opportunity zones, or QOZ for short. They can allow for tax deferral and potential tax elimination. So the question I like to consider with my clients isn't just when to sell, it's also how to redeploy the proceeds. Part 6. Here's a hypothetical example. Let's take Jim and Linda. They're 62 and they're planning to retire at age 65. Now, let's assume their home is worth $1.2 million and that it's mortgage-free. And they're considering downsizing to a $700,000 maintenance-free home. If they were to sell today, the $500,000 of equity that they free up would qualify for the $500,000 exclusion. And they could invest those proceeds into a taxable portfolio that could generate $15,000, $20,000 or more of annual taxable income. But that income could make more of their Social Security benefits taxable once they claim, and potentially push them into a higher Medicare premium. If they wait until after retirement, the gain is still excluded, but they've delayed the creation of the taxable investment income. That may help keep more of their Social Security untaxed and delay those Medicare cost increases. Either way, the decision isn't just about real estate. Something else to consider is how timing interacts with their broader income and tax strategy. Part 7. Coordinating the sale with retirement income planning. I believe the key is integration. When deciding whether to sell before or after retirement, I recommend you consider some of the following. Your income levels. Selling before retirement may mean reinvesting while you're in a higher tax bracket. Selling after retirement may mean a lower bracket, but that could interact with Social Security and your Medicare premiums. Your withdrawal strategy. How proceeds coordinate with your IRA withdrawals, Roth conversions, and required minimum distributions. Your liquidity needs. If you need cash for early retirement goals like travel, home renovations, or family support, selling earlier may give you flexibility. Health and longevity. If mobility or downsizing is likely in the next decade, moving earlier may be less stressful. Part 8, guardrails and strategies. Here are some practical strategies, and they include things to consider like Roth conversions. If you sell before retirement, you could use some of those proceeds to pay for Roth conversions while you're in a lower bracket. And be strategic about your investments. Don't put all the proceeds into taxable accounts. Explore tax-deferred and tax-free options such as the QOZ when and where possible. Coordinate this with your other income. If selling after retirement, try to time the sale in a year with lower income to reduce Medicare and tax impacts. Think about gifting or legacy. If part of your goal is to help your children or grandchildren, structure it so it doesn't disrupt your retirement plan. So, should you sell your house before or after retirement? The answer is almost always it depends. Not just on your lifestyle, it depends on how the timing interacts with your income plan, your tax picture, and your long term goals. The sale itself may qualify for a generous tax exclusion, but how you use the proceeds can significantly affect your retirement income. So, if you're wrestling with this decision, book a call with me using the link in the description below. I'll help you analyze not just the emotional and lifestyle side of the choice, but also the tax and income side, so you can retire with clarity and confidence.